All right, good Monday evening. I hope that you guys are ready for our new unit. Today we're going to be starting our unit on functions. So, you know there's one word I got to tell you before. This has got to be, I want you to underline it, fun. Functions are fun. Yay. I know you're really buying into that enthusiasm, right? Yes. So, anyways, we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to zoom in here so you guys can see this a little better. You're going to need to use that worksheet I gave you today in class. And I'm going to go ahead and put today's date. Today's the 16th, so you kind of have a date there. And then all we're going to do is plot the points and label them. So it wants us to plot 2, 3, 4, negative 4, 1, 5, negative 2, and negative 3, 5, negative 5. So go ahead and write up above each point X and Y so that you refresh yourself that an X coordinate comes first, the Y coordinate comes next. Your X coordinate is going to be from the X axis, and your Y coordinates will be on the Y axis, which is the vertical axis. All right, so let's go ahead and plot those points. So 2, 3, we are going to go over to 2 and up 3 spots. These are small lines, I know, so you gotta be kind of careful. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is A. And then negative 4, 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. Oh, 3. You gotta be careful. Miss Hogg was wrong. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and up 1. You gotta be careful that you're doing your X's first and then your Y's. And then 5, negative 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down 1, 2. That's C. And D is negative 3. 1, 2, 3. And negative 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. D. Okay. Plotted our points and we labeled them. A, B, C, D. Okay. So now we are going to write the coordinates. We're going to work backwards and write the coordinates of the given points. So we'll start with E. We're looking for X first. So on the X-axis, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, positive 6. F is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the Y is 0 because it's right there on the X-axis. G is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoops, nope, can't do that. That's X-axis. Okay, I mean Y-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Negative 6, and then H is at 0. It's on the Y-axis, so we're not moving any on the X. And the Y value, 1, 2, 3, negative 3. So check that. If you need to go slower, you can go back and stop it or whatever. Well, we're going to move on. Number 3 says to label the X-axis, the Y-axis, the origin, and the 4 quadrants with Roman numerals. So let's go ahead and label our X-axis. This is your X-axis. We do it in cursive just so you don't get confused with the multiplication symbol. and the y-axis, okay? And then there's 4 quadrants. So I'm going to highlight this axis for you to see it clearer. It's kind of hard on this paper, just the way it copies. All right, there's your x and your y-axis. And the quadrants, we start with this one here, and we go counterclockwise. So this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. Roman numerals, okay? So make sure you get the 4 quadrants. And then we forgot the origin. The origin is in the middle. We're going to label that origin. And we're going to put the coordinates of the origin. 0, 0. Okay? Okay. So it says, in relation to where each x coordinate is paired with one and only one y coordinate is called a function. Okay, so remember those builders? If it says, is this a function, yes or no? Well, it's a function only if there is an x coordinate with one y coordinate. So you could see here, the following are examples of functions. And if you look here, you could see that there's not 2 y coordinates for every x. So each x has one y coordinate. This is an example of it in a table. These are examples of it in an ordered pair. There's not like 0, 1, -1, and a 1. That would not be just one y coordinate. It would be more than that. And then over here, even though we only have 2 y values, it's okay for the x values to share a y value, but you just can't have 2 arrows coming out from one x coordinate. All right, so these are all functions. They all just have one y coordinate for every x coordinate. So let's flip over to the back. The following are non-examples of functions. So look here at the mapping here. Can you tell why? Look and see if you can figure out why these are not functions. Think about it. Yes. So the reason this is not a function is this right here. This one x coordinate has 2 y coordinates. This is not a function, okay? These ordered pairs here, can you figure out the reason this is not a function? See if you can figure it out. Okay, it's because there's the same x coordinate here. And there's 2 different y coordinates. So it's like if you had it over here, you would have the 4, it's going to 3, and it's going to -2. So it's the same x coordinate with different y coordinates. You cannot have that. So to test for functions, the x's cannot repeat. Do not repeat. You cannot have a repeating x, okay? And the second test is if you're looking at a line on a graph, this is what you're looking at. The vertical line, we call it the vertical line test, is used for graphs. So what the vertical line test means is that when you do a vertical line test, and in any vertical line on the graph, you cannot hit the line more than one time. So let's do that right now. If we were going to do a vertical line test, and I'm going to use my post-it note side as a straight edge for a vertical line, at any point as we go through this line, and I'm going to highlight this line for you to see, does the post-it note cross through the line twice? No. It passes the vertical line test. Okay, let's look at this one. Here's our line. No, just one. Oh, it did not cross it twice. So this is a function. And one more. We're going to start here. Uh-oh. Looks like we're passing through the line, the highlighted line, twice in one vertical line. So you see we're passing through it here and down here. We're hitting it twice. The same function line. So this is not a function. It did not pass the vertical line test. Okay. All right, so in our builders, we discussed that the domain is the set of all x values. And tell me what the range is. It's the set of which values? Y. Yes, the y values in a function. So we're going to finish off our notes tonight with this. We're going to look at these graphs. We're going to figure out the domain and the range for each function. We're going to look at this graph here. And this is not a 0, it's just the end of the line. So don't get confused with that in front of the 2. So the domain is our x values, remember? So the domain is, we have to look on this x-axis, right here. And it goes from -1 to where the line ends on the x-axis, -3. See here? The first point is here, and the last point is here. So from here to here is the range on the graph. And the way we denote that on here is that we put -1 is less than x, which x is our range, and x is less than -3. And then our range is our y's. So here, it goes from the lowest number, which here is a -3, we do that first, is less than y, which is less than the highest number that your line is going to pass through on the y-axis, which is 2. So let's try to do that same thing here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do our range first. Our range here is -2. We do our lowest number first. And then the highest range on the y-axis that it goes to is 3. And looky here, do you notice the difference between this line and this line? Look at the dots. This one's filled in, so we're going to have to put that equal to underneath it. And then on the x-axis, it goes from -4 all the way to +5 on the x-axis. And then lastly, start with our domains, that's our x values, on the y-axis, on the x-axis. All right, we start at -2. It's filled in, so we're going to put less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to the highest range value, which is going to be 3 for this line. Ooh, tricky. Looky here, this is an open circle. This is closed. So this is not going to be equal to. It's just going to be less than. And then on the range, we have to look at our y values. We have 4 and a -4, so we start with our smallest number first. This is filled in, so it's less than or equal to y, which is only less than 4. So that's all we're looking at tonight. We're just doing a basic thing about graphing, the domains, the ranges, and looking at what is a function. So we'll bring this to class tomorrow. We'll use these notes to do our homework. Have a good night. Bye.